Hi everybody, Justin Elliott here with Elliott's Estate Sales, and today I wanted to take you through a couple of different things that I'm doing today. It's about 8 o'clock or so, and I'm leaving my driveway, and I am going to take you to a couple of estate sales throughout the Oklahoma City metro. And I'm not going to go into the estate sales, but what I'm looking for is traffic, and to see how many people are buying things and how many people are participating in estate sales in the Oklahoma City metro area, despite the virus that is going around here in the United States and across the world. And so I think it's very important for folks to know, shoppers, as well as folks that are going to be looking to sell their stuff, that the estate sale market is still a very vibrant and active market. I must tell people that, whether or not people are selling their houses and they're doing really, really well, or the world and the economy is doing its worst, what helps the auction business and the liquidation business as a whole, any kind of downturn in the economy, it drives our business. People need a liquidation business even more so than that of, any other kind of business, because people have contracts that they are, having to comply with, whether it's to sell their house and they're actually having to downsize because of the economy, and they're selling everything in their home to be able to put down on a new house. Maybe you're a business owner and right now your doors have been closed for, 10, 15 days. We have no idea to know how many more days that business could be closed. And so being creative and innovative to be able to sell those goods and still be able to get them out on the free market to people that want to buy them, can use them, and have the cash to buy them, so that our sellers can get out of their obligations, whether it's a contract, maybe their business is closing, what have you. This is the time of need. And so, we do not turn our phone lines off. I am not refusing estate sales. This is a time that I have to accept estate sales and time that I have to comply with my contractual agreements, because people are depending on my service before they're actually dependent on another service, whether it's a real estate to come in, whether they're remodeling the home, and whether or not they are actually using the money from the estate sale to move from the situation that they're in. So I just think it's very important to be upfront and to be able to show everybody that people are still going to estate sales, that people depend on estate sales. And that's another dynamic to estate sales that I think a lot of folks don't really take into consideration. When you have an estate sale, 9 times out of 10, most houses that you go to, it has average normal stuff in it. And most of the stuff is going to be less than $10,000. And those are excluding sales that, don't have firearms, don't have cars, don't have RVs, no titled property, there's no fine jewelry, there's not Rolexes, etc. And those particular estate sales, they do really well, but the thing is that, a lot of times you don't have to have those things in order to get people to come in and shop your estate sale. If you do have those items, they're going to bring a certain kind of buyer, a different type of buyer, a buyer that has to buy those items at your estate sale, and then they have to take those items and resell them online. And I think it is just a common misconception that folks think that people shop estate sales and auctions and, liquidations just to buy something cheap and inexpensive. That is not the case. 80% of our clientele as an estate liquidation company and a liquidator, they're all resellers. They're folks that have to buy something at a certain amount, and then they take it to another location, maybe their store, maybe they sell online, and they sell those items to make a profit, to pay for their bills and be profitable as a small business owner in the resale industry. So it's very, very important that we don't forget that just because you've been advised to stay home, just because folks are staying home, there will always be folks shopping in an estate sale. Always. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The liquidation business has been happening for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. It has survived the measles. It has survived, the economic downturns of the 90s, the 80s, 2000s. A lot of folks that do estate liquidations, I don't know if you've noticed, depending on how long you've been shopping estate sales, a lot of those estate sale companies are ran by folks that their business went under. In the early 90s, around 2000s, there was tons and tons of antique stores that went out of business. And a couple of the folks that I'm going to go to their estate sales today, they actually used to have an antique ball They used to be a reseller, someone that used to shop an estate sale. And then all of a sudden, their business went under, and they started doing estate sales. So that being said, a lot of the companies in Oklahoma City today that do take estate sales, they once had a retail store that failed. So economic downturns, when folks are going to have to pay for their mortgage and their rent to be able to keep an antique mall open, to be able to keep their resale store open, it's really rough. And so, I mean, right now you will start to see, when we open back up, the people that either open back up or they do not open back up. And at that time that, they weren't really doing that well in the first place. Antique business and antique malls right now, even before the virus, they're struggling. People go in and out, in and out. I've seen hundreds of dealers that go in, open their store. They think it's going to be great, and they just don't have the clientele that comes in. It costs a lot of money to get those clients and those shoppers to come into your retail store because we're having to compete with online sales. So that being said, we're going to go ahead and get started. I will take you to my first estate sale. The first estate sale is actually going to be in Yukon. It is by James Bean Estate Sales. And then there'll be a couple of other estate sales that I'm going to attend to. One is by Swans Estate Sales. It's downtown. And if you're interested in shopping my estate sales, I do have 2 estate sales next weekend in Southwest Oklahoma City and Northwest Oklahoma City. Both are great sales. Both will be, great, good advertised. And so you'll know everything that's for sale in those sales. You will notice also that I'm going to be the only company at this time that has implemented contactless purchases. And so what I mean by that is you are able to call me at the time of the sale, has started to advertise with the prices. And then if the item is available, you will be able to pay by phone. I will send you an invoice. That invoice, once it's paid, will go back to me as an email. And then you will get an email stating that you've paid for those items. You'll come to my sale. You will call me. I will put those items outside for you, kind of like a porch pickup. There will be certain designated tarped off areas for private pickups for folks that do not want to shop my sale traditionally. We will still be doing a traditional estate sale next weekend. There'll be 2. But you'll be able to have an opportunity to call me and purchase something once the prices have been released. So if you were worried, if you're interested in shopping the estate sale, that's what I'm going to do to accommodate all of my buyers. So as I'm driving through this entire neighborhood, he has literally gone through every single house and had to put in this gated community, no parking on this side. He has purchased a sign literally for every single one of these plots. Look at all these signs. There are people here, but nowhere near the amount of people that he thought, obviously. I mean, look at all this. He thought that all of this would be full with people. Now it's 9:09, so he opened, I believe, at 8. There's really no one bringing anything out of the house that I can see at the moment, but there's probably a lot of people in that house too. But this is the amount of cars that are here at this moment. I'm assuming some of these are probably owned by the people that live here. And then he's got someone up at the front letting people in because it is a gated community. As you come up here, this is where the sale's at, where that guy's walking in right there. And not many people here, some people. I don't see anybody bringing anything out to buy yet, that's for sure. But all of these people, I'm guessing, are in the estate sale, but there's a lot of cars, but if you look over here, the cul-de-sacs are not full. And so, now this is an inconvenient estate sale to get to. I had to take the turnpike to get here. We're in Yukon, but this is kind of in Oklahoma City. And as you can see, these signs just continue because he must have purchased 1 million signs to appease this HOA to do an estate sale. And this is the reason why you don't do an estate sale ever in an HOA. Because they make it absolutely the worst experience you will ever experience. Not only for the estate liquidator, but it is a terrible experience as well for the folks that shop your estate sale. In most cases. Look at this. It just continues. And obviously, they expected a lot larger turnout. Okay, so finally found this particular estate sale.
Turn left onto Northwest 30th Place, then your destination will be on the right.
Looks like a lot of dealers at this estate sale. And look, I see the dude that always comes to my sales with the station wagon. This is where all the dealers are.
Your destination is on the right.
That's funny. All the dealers at this estate sale. Okay, made it to the next estate sale. This one is in the Cleveland neighborhood. Just in northwest Oklahoma City. Their signs look like blue painter's tape with an arrow, so looking for the signs. And there's our sign. Let's go see how busy this one is.
Your destination is on the right.
Very busy on this one for sure. Estate sale is right there. And this is gonna be a wash and wear sale. There's like maybe about 7 or 8 cars out here. This one's over off of 28th and Villa. Okay, so I'm almost at the next estate sale, and this estate sale was a nationally advertised estate sale that's being held downtown in a building off of Sheridan. I'm not exactly sure of what the estate sale is included in the estate sale, or what's being liquidated. I'm assuming it's probably a business of some sort or another. You can see their signs here, and then you see all these cars taking up this entire street. Lots and lots of folks out here using, the distance allotted to them, and lots of people shopping this estate sale. I just want to make sure that everybody sees that, there's plenty of people out here shopping. If you use your best judgment and you are, going by the government and the CDC's regulations, that you can have an estate sale, even in the worst economic times. Okay, and so that completes, the entire tour of the estate sales that I went through in Oklahoma City today. Today is Saturday. I appreciate you watching. Be sure and get out there and support some small businesses, y'all. If you know anybody that works in the restaurant industry, if you know anybody that has a business that's closed, check on their morale. Just make sure that people are at least encouraged to try to keep positive thoughts at this time. I hate to see people that work really, really hard every single day put in this situation. It's really hard on all of us, and I appreciate you watching. And if you like this content, please like and subscribe. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.